Hi everybody, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. I got my sister tapping flamingo.
Hello.
Also, Be Creative with Terry Jeanette. I will have her YouTube info down in a captiony thing down there for you all if you're not already following her. I think most of you guys are. But we're here to chit chat about Virtual Blythe Retreat 2025. It was completed was it last weekend?
Yes, it's
Yes.
almost been a whole week since it's
Yeah.
been. By the
Well,
time I'm sure by the time you post this, it will be over a week, but
it will be, yes. I got to edit this and everything. So we will warn you, this is a chitty chatty video. You might want to go get something to drink and just chill out. We're going to talk about, yeah, she's got her drink. I have my drink and my cough drops. So we're going to talk about how it went, our thoughts on it, our thoughts for future retreats, that kind of thing. We're just kind of bringing you in on the discussion. We hope you find it interesting. If you don't, you can, fast forward through stuff or whatevs, right? But yeah, first of all, generally speaking, what are your thoughts, just in a nutshell, Terry, about last weekend?
I am very happy about it. I had a lot of fun. I think all of us did. Some of us learned new skills. Some of us, we just came for the enjoyment of each other's company,
Hmm.
which that's a big part of it
It
is
is.
to associate with like minds when it comes to our dolls.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I think it went well. I don't really feel like there was anything that shocked me over, like, oh no, we goofed up or whatever, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think everybody had a really good time. And part of this video, we're actually going to talk about the survey that we put out and the feedback we got from those who have completed the survey. At this point, I think we've had, no, I would say maybe a dozen people or more have
Mhm.
completed the survey. Not everybody has
Yeah,
completed
keep
it.
them coming in if you haven't
Right.
done it yet. We're reading over them, and this will help us when we're planning 2026 VBR.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Because a lot of the changes that we made this time are completely based on surveys and not even just surveys. Sometimes people just email us and, thank us or, give us some feedback unrelated to the survey necessarily. So if you want to just do that, that's okay
mhm.
too. It's just the survey's a little bit more, organized. But some of the things that we changed this year, I have my notes here. Um, with the VBR. The first one was the scheduling. So typically we have the retreat typically is over a 3 day. Sometimes we've had it 4 days. We went back to 3 days this time, period. And we've had usually about eight to 10 workshops. This time we had 10, right? And um,
Right.
and then we would schedule them to publish throughout the weekend in an even number on some on Friday, some on Saturday, some on Sunday.
We didn't have
Sundays,
any workshops on Sunday, right?
yes, this time we didn't know. That was typically
Okay.
what we did.
Oh,
And
yes.
this
Yeah.
time, based on people's requests, because some people, you come in late or they're on a different time period or that kind of thing, they felt like they were rushed, a little bit. So instead of we didn't have any workshops on Sunday, right? So we didn't have no
It's a
workshops
catch-up
on
day.
Sunday. Yeah, we had activities.
Right.
Yeah, we had prize posts, we had other activities, that kind of thing. But all of our workshops, we had 5 on Friday and then 5 on Saturday. And we kind of usually organize them based on the more time-intensive ones at the beginning of the day, um, for the most part. I mean, I guess the exception would be this time, the stitch marker was the one we started with, right, on Friday.
Right. And the reason we did that is because you needed that for the crochet projects that were going to be
Right.
done.
There were two crochet projects and you had to count. It was we were crocheting in the round. And so you had to count your stitches and crochet, stitch markers, really handy for that. So we started with that, which was really easy. And then the next project was the crocheted skirt we made. I got my dolly wearing it right here. So, so yeah, so that's how we did it. And I would say, I mean, I felt like that worked, right, Terry?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. hmm
Yeah.
I figured that if we did the more not necessarily the harder ones, but the ones that were more involved, that gave you more time to work on it. And then the ones that weren't as in depth,
Yeah.
and you could pretty much like earrings, those you can just boom,
Right.
boom, bam. They don't take you long to do, and the bracelet and stuff like that toward the end.
Hmm. Right. So we kept that into, we always did that anyway in the past as far as organizing them, but we this is the first time that there were no workshops on Sunday. Sunday was like a catch-up day, share day. We had some more activities as far as prize posts, and but anyway, that was that change to the agenda, I think, was a keeper. Yes,
Oh yeah.
we will definitely keep doing that, and that way, all of the workshops will be Friday and Saturday. Sunday everybody can catch up. So that was good. Thank and see that's the type of thing, like, people
Hmm.
said something to us and we're like, oh yeah, I could see that, why that would be that could be problematic. So let's see, another thing we changed. Oh, we had guest artists this time. Duh. Yeah, we actually I count three guest artists because we had
Right.
Karen from Starches and Stitches who made a coloring page for us. Looked really cool. Everybody had a good time with that. We actually released that early. We actually, once she got it to me, we had that out a couple of weeks before the retreat actually started. So, we usually have like stuff kind of going on in the group, but it's not completely, launched until that Friday morning. And so she did that for us. Everybody really enjoyed that. If you're in the group and you haven't gotten that coloring page, it's still under the files tab. And then we had two other guest artists who actually created video workshops for us. So Terry, why don't you
Right.
tell them, like, what about the photography one by Maya Gallad?
Yes, that one actually, all of our guests, because we actually had another guest too, but I'll talk about her in a little bit. But the guest artist, so Maida, she was our photography specialist. And I'll have to say, I learned, I already knew a lot of what she was showing, but there was a lot that I gleaned from that. And I know a lot of you out there, you're photographers, you've done this and all, but even so, you can glean information from somebody, just
Hmm.
they may do it a little bit different than maybe you thought of. I always wondered how they got these dolls to stand up without leaning them on something. And, I learned that she used like a skewer with that little putty stuff,
Hmm.
and then she just erased it in the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, so
That
she
was
showed us, I mean, she went into Photoshop and showed us stuff. Like,
right. Actually showed how to
she
do
went
that.
in, right.
Mhm.
I mean, that was an excellent video. Everybody really, I mean, and there were even things like one, just, this is like so, minor in a way, but it was kind of, duh for me. She showed an area where she has her props and stuff, and she has some of the cutest little props in her photographs. And she showed where she puts them out and how she organizes them, and I was like, oh, that is so brilliant. It's like she doesn't stuff them in a box somewhere and they have to dig all through them and everything. I mean, she had them all organized, and it wasn't that like that looked doable to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that alone, I was like, wow. When I see it now, it seems like I should have known to do that, but I didn't. So she went from like basics, simple things like that to digging into Photoshop. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it was a big range, and we really want to thank her because that, I feel like, between that and then Beth Ramsden's customization video, I feel like the whole retreat was kind of moved up a level in quality.
Mhm.
I mean, our workshops I think are good too, but those two were just like, and everybody was freaking out over them. I mean, you know,
Right. Well, the Beth Ramsden, she showed a little bit about customizing, and I've always been really scared to do anything. But I'm like, maybe I could do something.
right. And I mean, and that was, again, that was a very detailed video because I told them, they were like, well, how long should it be? And I was like, well, there's no, whatever works for you, whatever, however long you need, or short, whatever
Right.
you want. And and that was, I mean, that again, that was a very meaty video. She started from the very beginning of taking them apart. She talked about all the little pieces in the iMac, explained terminology that, sometimes you see people talking about it, you don't always understand it. And I would say, so I'm not sure. So Terry and I, we later on take our workshop videos and put them on YouTube.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what they're going to do with their videos at some time. I know Maida Galland has a YouTube channel. It's not super active, but I was going to suggest to her, I haven't said this to her yet, but I was going to tell her she should put it on her YouTube
Oh,
channel.
definitely.
People
Hmm.
would really enjoy it. And then I know Beth, she has, of course, a very popular YouTube channel where she has a lot of other, uh, customization videos, but she also is on um, what is it called?
Patreon.
Patreon. So she might put that on her Patreon. I don't know, but I liked how both of them really covered in a lot of detail, but condensed it at the same time. I don't know how that,
Right. It didn't last 30 minutes or
yeah.
whatever. They
Well,
were,
I think Beth's was almost 30 minutes long.
was it?
It
It
doesn't
didn't
seem
go,
like
it
that.
wasn't over that though. It didn't seem
No,
like
no,
it was that long.
no. It was close to 30 minutes, but I mean, she went from like taking
Well,
the
she
doll
even
apart.
like unboxed the doll and
Yeah,
told me where she got it, so from that point till done.
right, right. She means
So,
she's doing over carving, painting. I mean, like, yeah, a lot. Okay, so yeah, I was like, I feel like that the guest artists, we want to keep doing that, and that's something we're going to have to really, it's a fine line to ask. I don't know. We are, I mean, this is a money making, haha,
well, it's
endeavor,
money making, so we can put it back into next year's
right?
because we're not, that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the amount of time we put in is, ridiculous. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, that's kind of a
We
joke.
enjoy it though.
Yes, that's
So,
why I have it
yes.
in air quotes.
Yeah, it's a hobby.
It is. Um, but still, I feel like because, asking somebody to take their time, I feel like they need to get some benefit out of it. And when you ask people at, like these two artists are at such a high level, they don't need us to promote them. You know what I mean?
No, they're
So
already there.
right, they're already there. So what do they gain out of it other than just that they're nice people? And so that's been something that Terry and I've kind of struggled with when we think about bringing in other artists.
Right. We don't want
Also,
to take advantage of
we
them.
don't want to, that is
Yeah.
the huge, that is the biggie. We don't want to take advantage of them. Also, I will say, we also, and I knew this was not going to be a problem with either one of these people, but um, because I feel like I know them. I know Beth really, really well. I now feel like I know Maida pretty well too. But there's other people I see do stuff, but I don't know them that well. So I don't know if I feel comfortable asking them to do a big favor for us. But
Right.
also, are they reliable?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
something can happen out of their control. Or maybe they're just not reliable people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know some people well enough to know. And, Terry and I, like I said, we put a lot of time into this. And if we tell, everybody in YouTube land that we're going to have this person do this thing and then that person backs out,
Right.
that concerns
It
me.
winds up being on us, and things do happen. It's not necessarily that they're reliable or not reliable. I mean, Tammy and I both know firsthand in the last few months. I mean, our mom, we were having to help her in a situation that, she was going through.
Right.
Fortunately, we had everything planned and pretty much
Yes.
done by that time.
Thank
So,
goodness.
yeah. And that's why we start like now, because you
Right.
don't know what the future holds.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm recovering from
That
the
too.
big C. Okay. And this happened, I'm on week 2. And so last week during the retreat, I was sick as a dog. Okay.
With a just getting out of surgery.
Yes, I have my little scooter here, little scooter dude. And I got a big old boot on my foot, so I can't walk. So, and I also thought I thought this would be done. I thought I would be healed. I thought I misunderstood, I guess. I don't know. I was naive and I thought I would be done with all recovering from my surgery on my ankle. And so that's why we do things way ahead of time because life stuff can happen. I didn't know I was going to get sick. I didn't know I was still going to be recovering from surgery. We didn't know our mom was going to have health issues and that we'd have to, be there.
Hmm.
Terry's staying with her right now.
Yeah, I'm still at my mom's.
Yeah,
Couple more
so
weeks and I'll be gone. But
yeah, our mom's doing great. So, but yeah, so those are things that when we bring other people into the mix, I mean, she and I are sisters, so we've known each other our whole lives, right? So, so we can feel like we can count on each other for stuff, right? If somebody bringing somebody else in, like I said, it's twofold, like asking somebody to do a huge favor for you that they really, other than just participating in the retreat and getting accolades for it, they don't get a whole
on
lot
our
of.
timeline.
Yes, when we tell them, yeah, we give them a deadline, and we kind of tell them what we want them to do. I mean, we ask them what we want, but then we work with them. Okay,
Right. Oh, yeah.
so anyway, I mean, I'm going to put that out there because we are looking for more guest artists for 2026. There's some, uh, I mean, I would love both of these artists to come back again. I think they're like a font of information that can just continually give us more
Hmm.
stuff. But we're open to other people. We would like to add to it, but just keep in mind, like, I mean, I'm
Yeah, if
kind
it
of
doesn't
a
happen.
micromanager. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it.
Huh?
I'm a micromanager,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to be with
Yeah.
this type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a teacher, okay? And it's like you have a deadline, okay? I'm a teacher, previous technical writer. You have a deadline for your project, and you have requirements to meet. And you told me you were going to do it, so do it, or you're not going to get a good grade. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, so the artist thing was really good. And as far as the projects and the workshops, we added crochet this time. So I'm going to shut up and you talk about that, Terry.
All right. So Tammy actually taught the crochet classes. She actually came up with the patterns to the two projects we did. We did a skirt, which was in the round, and we did a purse, which was also in the round. Now we announced that we were going to be doing crochet way before the retreat. And Tammy actually did several videos, beginner videos on how to do basic crocheting. Like the first video she did was how to do a chain stitch, which is your basic, what you have.
Mhm.
Every project always starts out with a chain stitch. So, and then she moved up to, double crochet and other things and stuff, which were all very excellent. They are on her YouTube channel now. Go check that out if you want to learn to crochet. So, the reason we did that is to kind of get y'all ready for these projects. And so when we had the projects, I think most of us, well, a lot of us are crocheters anyway.
Mhm.
I crochet, but I still am a very beginner. I've been crocheting probably 40 years or more, but I still consider myself a beginner because I haven't crocheted in the round very much. So this was a really good project for me. Um, on the feedback, that was one of the favorites of most everybody was the crochet projects. Now, I do know some people are having a little bit of problems.
Yes.
And I totally get that. I've
Hmm.
actually taught people to crochet in person and they get very frustrated, which, I totally get that.
Hmm.
But I just encourage them and I'm encouraging you if you fit into this, just keep trying. Go look at Tammy's videos and go around all over YouTube. There's other people that show you how to crochet and maybe they'll do say something that clicks more with you. So I encourage that you go around and search on YouTube for different beginner crochet projects and how-tos. And go back and try to do that skirt
Hmm.
and the purse.
The skirt actually is on the pattern for the skirt is actually on the pass. So if you purchase the pass, the skirt pattern's on there. So even though the video I did, I think is helpful, it's still
Mhm.
there. And we're keeping the group open. I can't remember the exact date. I want to say, did we say it was going to be till like the 18th of July or something like
Something like
that.
that. I don't remember.
So we're keeping the group open for a few weeks after the end of the
Woo, it's
retreat.
raining like
Oh,
pouring.
oh, really? Oh.
Sorry.
So anyway, but yeah, that surprised me. It with I will say with the beginning of the because that was the second workshop was the skirt. And I was starting to worry because we had quite a few people that I guess they were thinking they were going to learn how to crochet with that project. And it
Don't
wasn't
work that way.
I mean, it's a beginner project, I feel like. I feel like it's
But
maybe it's not like
it's it's a beginner, but a half of a step up.
yeah.
Not quite intermediate,
Yeah, I don't
but
feel like it's intermediate. I
no.
think it's kind of in between there. An advanced beginner, an adventurous beginner,
Let me just say this. Okay, like I said, I've been crocheting a long time, but I don't consider myself, I'm still a beginner. I did three of those skirts. My first skirt, I actually did upside down. I was wondering, I was like, this isn't working out. And then I had it all finished. I was so proud of myself. And I sent a picture to Tammy, and she's like, I think that's upside down. I'm like, oh, that's the problem,
Well, see, you were tech editing it for me, and then when I added I added some text into my a
Okay.
description thing into my pattern and said you're working from the bottom up.
Oh, okay. It did not
So
say that
just
before. Yeah,
FYI,
that's
yeah.
right.
So that wasn't in the past. So I did,
Okay, good.
yeah. So I used. I mean, that's what we do. Is like we tech edit each other's stuff a lot. So
Well, and it's
that's the
like
type
I
of
put the
thing.
ruffle on it and all, but because it was, you know, like this, should have been, anyway, it made a really good dress with the
Yeah,
little ruffle on the top. So
yeah.
we had a dress. So then I tried again. And then I made it way too long. I mean, it's like a pencil skirt, but you couldn't walk in it because it was just so again, we had another dress. Third time's a charm though. My
Yeah.
third one worked out well.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Well, and
just keep trying.
right, exactly. So yeah, I was a little concerned at the beginning. I was like, oh no, this crochet maybe wasn't a good idea, but everybody got on board finally. They were fine. I mean, some people, you're not going to do everything. You're not going to be able to master every single skill. But I mean, I feel like we always want to have a mix of really easy projects and a couple of more involved projects.
Right.
I hesitate to say hard or anything because we only have a weekend, right? So
Right, yeah.
we can't, we're not going to have you crochet an Afghan for your bed.
We want it to be possible that that you can some, the majority of you
Yeah,
can finish all of them on the weekend.
right.
That.
3-day
Now,
weekend.
that being said, some of you are not going to be able to do that.
Right.
For one thing, you've got life, you've got
Yes. Well, there's
work,
that.
you
Yeah.
have, other things going on. And
Which
so
is again why we have the group. Like we have that 3-day weekend. We try to organize everything so you can finish it in the weekend. If because some people take off work. Some people are like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to be there the whole time, right? And people who can't, they still have those 2 weeks or so after the retreat to catch up or redo stuff or do it again.
right,
Like right now, if you didn't get to watch Maida's photography workshop and you want to watch it, it's still there. If you want to watch Beth's customization workshop, again, you can do that, right? So it's over, but not completely over.
now that brings me, I forgot, I did want to mention about another guest that we had,
Oh, right.
Casey. She was the very first guest. She actually pretty much opened up the whole weekend.
Hmm.
And the reason we picked Casey is because she is an influencer, and we were making influencers out of our dolls.
Yes.
And so I thought, well, what better way to kind of introduce or start out the weekend with interviewing somebody that is actually a very successful influencer. Now she has celiacs, and her platform is all about being gluten free, what that truly is, and what it's like to live with celiacs.
Hmm.
And she actually talked about how she became an influencer, and a little bit about, well, the way she became an influencer is because she was diagnosed with celiacs. A
Right,
lot of,
right. Right, but she talked
but
about her background and how she pivoted from blogging and then
right.
into social media and vlogging and that kind of thing. And I mean, we actually started the first day off with that video, and I that's something I think Terry and I need to think about for next year. I'd like to do more. I mean, right now, like the videos that we've always had for Casey's were mainly workshop videos or
Mhm.
just chit chatty, hey, how's it going type quick stuff. I really like the idea of bringing in other content that's related to our topic.
Right.
That's, and connected to the theme. So because every retreat we have some kind of theme. This kind it was called spread kindness, and like she said, our dolls were going to be internet influencers, and so Casey really fit really well into that
Mhm.
thematic element. And I think that's something Terry and I need to kind of think about again for 2026.
I already have some ideas.
Yay!
We know what our theme is already.
Fingers crossed. Yes,
Fingers crossed if it works, which
we're
it's going to
working
work.
on prototypes right now. It all depends on it all
I have
hinges
all
on
the
the
faith,
prototype.
but I do have some ideas
Yeah.
for some
Yeah, I do
people.
too. And I think if it's the theme, if we can get this theme working, then I think I can think of all kinds of great content related, not again, not necessarily workshops like how to do this. We will have
Right.
those, but it will be in addition to. So again,
Right. Yeah.
that's why I feel like the guest artists and the Casey's really helped us bump things up a notch.
Right. To
Um,
kind of educate us on
yeah.
certain things,
Yeah,
whatever.
kind of dive into it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and look at the survey questions, and we might talk about some stuff after that. Again, I warned you, this is going to be kind of long. So we had how many survey questions? We had 10 survey questions. All right. So I guess I'll let you start, Terry. Was question number one was what?
Let me.
Well, I'll
Thought I
tell
had
you.
it pulled up. There it
What was
is.
your favorite activity this weekend and why? That was question number one. Favorite activity this weekend and why? And so far, like we said, not everybody, we're still waiting on people, but we have a good chunk of people who have taken it.
Mhm.
What are they?
Well,
Kind of all over the
I
road, I think.
they're all over the road. They like the dog and the visor.
Yes, they did. That's okay. So this is funny. Like this just shows you like, we could never guess. It's hard to know what people are going to think about the projects. And one of the projects we made, what Terry actually did the workshop was a little dog made out of pipe cleaners.
So actually, we have been talking about doing, some type of a prop. And I'm thinking, prop. What can we do for a prop? And then I thought, you know what? Our dolls, they need a pet of some sort. And so that's how the pipe cleaner dog came about. And as I was, doing the video and developing it and stuff, I was thinking, you could make other animals out of this, a cat or, some other animals. And I hope they do that. And sure enough, we had a goat, we had a cat, had lots of dogs. Do we have anything else? I can't remember.
I think it was, yeah, somebody did a cat and then some dogs, various types of dogs, but
And there was one,
otherwise,
I know there was a goat.
oh, there was.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that, you know, the visor was very popular. Thank goodness, because that was a hard project for me.
Tammy worked
I,
really hard on
I
that.
can't even tell you the amount of time and frustration I went through. And then it ended up working out really well. But boy, that she's wearing a little visor right now. That was some effort. So I was really glad that it worked out for everybody at the end. And everybody appreciated that. But that little pipe cleaner dog, I think it's one of the most popular, and according to the survey, which is fun, which is cool. I mean, people
Oh,
like
yeah.
fast, easy stuff, and especially after, some people, like I said, some people got a little frustrated with the skirt, and everything, the crocheted skirt, and then you get to do something like a pipe cleaner dog. Bingo, bango, it's done. So that was really good. And then least favorite, the other question was, what was your least favorite? And nobody really, so far, nobody has said what they liked everything. So they haven't said, there wasn't anything where people said, oh, we really didn't like this workshop, or we didn't like doing this, you
Hmm.
know. So good.
Yeah,
That's good, good,
we did
good.
our job.
Number three, what would you like to see offered at future retreats?
Let's see. Trying to remember what. Oh, a lot of people are talking about props, which, we did the puppy prop, but other props, some backdrops for like photography, and maybe some things like hair.
Yes.
Personally, I would love to have a hair video of some sort on cutting. I've tried to cut hair.
Oh yeah.
That was a disaster.
Malibu can tell you all about it. You know, it's funny because I've cut some dolls' hair and did okay, and then other dolls I've just totally mutilated them. So I'm definitely not the expert. But yeah, yeah, let's put that out in the universe. We would like to find somebody to do a Blythe doll hair cutting workshop.
That
Or
would be
even
nice.
anything with hair. I would be open
Hair,
to
well,
other
it could
things
be like
too.
a spa treatment,
Spa would be good.
which Tammy's got one of those,
Yeah,
but
I've done a few of those, and that's something
yeah.
I could still do, but I know some people are really good with hair. I'm
Yeah,
like
what styling, it's
styling,
like,
yeah.
I mean, this is about as styles I'm gonna get.
Well, you've created some really cute styles before, but yeah, I mean, there's some people out there who that's somebody we're kind of that's on our radar. We will say, yeah, that's definitely on our radar. And then the a couple questions dealt with the goodie bags. What did they like the best? What would they, let's see, what are your top three favorite items in the bag, and what would you like to see in future bags? And what are your thoughts concerning the supplies, uh,
Right.
or not including supplies in future bags? So those were kind of like three questions, all related to the goodie bag. So, um, yeah, so the goodie bag's been a thing that we've kind of rolled around, different ideas for. The first time we did it, we had 20 goodie bags for the very first year. They sold out immediately. Then I think we bumped it up to like 40. Would you go from
I
20
think,
to
yeah,
40? And then we sold them pretty quickly. Last year we did 50. We did sell them all. It took a while near the end. And this year we did not sell all of our goodie bags.
yeah.
And
We
that
sold most of them,
we
but not
sold
all.
most of them. We had only had, I think we had maybe five left or something at the end. And the goodie bags include items related, like like the little T-shirts that we get made. And then this time we had tennis shoes in there too, and a cell phone. So then we always try to find like little props or wearable items that go along with the theme. And then we have supplies.
Hmm.
And we don't include all of the supplies, and
Right.
that's kind of like a something we continually kind of struggle with a little bit. It kind of
Right. Well, I
maybe
know. So, with the supplies, most of them are going to be for my workshops because I do jewelry. So I put the beads and stuff like that in there. But anything that puts it together, like, well, of course, your pliers and stuff, you're going to have to supply those. But like wire or any type of cording, I do not put those in there. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One reason is particularly with the wire. So a lot of you have never worked with wire, and some of you have and kind of struggle with it a little bit. And you may have to do it more than once. So then if I give you the wire to do it once and you goof, which I goof, I mean, then you don't have any wire. And also your wraps may be different than my wraps.
it becomes a question of how much wire do you give them?
Right.
Because
So,
if, somebody needs to do it a couple of times, which typically is going to make sense that they'll have to, how much
right,
waste are they going to have? And it's hard
right.
to measure. You're going to need exactly this much. Don't mess it up. Right.
Right. And typically I get my wire, and next year I'll go into this again, but just a little brief thing for those of you who, are over there wanting to do the projects. I got these at Walmart. They're 20 gauge wire. They're very soft wire. Um, I mean, I have hand issues, and these are just very soft.
Are those copper wire? Is that
They're
copper
copper
or?
wire.
Okay.
It's silver. This is a copper color, comes in gold, black, all different colors, 22 gauge wire. I wouldn't go any smaller than that. The higher the number, by the way, the smaller the wire is. But anyway, um, the cording in the wire is that's why I don't put it in there
Right.
because I don't really know how your wires are going to be. Are you going to mess up?
And we always have a supplies list that we provide at least 6 weeks before the retreat,
Hmm.
but wire is one of those things, if you're new to working with it, you may not know where to get it, or you may not have a good feel for, it's not
Right.
going to be as easy for you to just like, oh, I'm just going to go to Walmart and buy wire. In fact, both of us in the supplies list, we list everything, every single thing you need.
Yeah.
Um, and it's, but some people, maybe they don't think they're going to go until like a couple days before the retreat, and they haven't had time to go out and get, all the supplies.
Get
So
what they
that can
need.
be,
Right.
an issue. But
Yeah.
so
But
anyway,
typically in the kits, I'll have all the beads that you need, the ear wires. If there's any head pins I'll be using, those are in there. Lobster claw clasps, jump rings. I'm trying to think, stuff
and
like that.
anything, and like for example, she made these really cute earrings they were made from little buttons that are heart shaped. So she
Hmm.
had those in there because maybe you probably could find them with some effort, but they were a little bit on the unique side. So that's why
Hmm.
if there's something like that that's kind of unique, we usually try to put it in the goodie bag. Like
Right.
last year for one of the sewing projects, we had people making mermaid tails out of spandexy,
Yes.
lycra-ish, stretchy fabric, which is not incredibly difficult to find, but you don't need an entire yard of it, or
Right.
even a half a yard for for a doll. And so I bought stuff, cut it up, and included a big swatch of it in each goodie bag. And so anything kind of like that we tend to put in the goodie bag. But yeah, I would say, that's one of the things, like we try to make the goodie bag reasonably priced, full of things that are related to the workshops, but also just the theme. So that's a balance we continue to kind of do. I will say for me, because I'm usually the one, I mean, she puts all her stuff together, gives it to me, and then I put it all in the goodie bag and I mail them all out. That's how we've been, doing it.
Hmm.
I don't want to do 50 again. And I just feel like 50 is too much. I think last year we barely sold them. This year we had some left over. I would like to rather just get them sold and then I don't have to stress about them.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thing. It puts that kind of pressure on me near the end. Like I worry that somebody's not going to get it in time.
Right.
This time it was a little bit more stressful because I can't walk, and so I couldn't go out to the post. I couldn't go out to the mailbox. I couldn't drive to the post office. I had to ask my husband for everything. So it was like, could you put this in the mailbox for me? It's like every day he's like, okay, and it's not, and he's doing 50 million other things for me too. So maybe there was a little bit more extra pressure this time, but yeah, I think 40 is kind of our sweet spot, maybe.
Probably.
What
Yeah.
do you
And,
think?
I will continue to have kits available in my Etsy shop if
Right.
you want the kits.
Right. So
But
she usually has
we,
extra kits.
right. And we make the projects so you do not have to buy the goodie bag.
Right.
Keep that in mind when
Right.
we're designing the projects, that everything is going to be fairly easy for you to get.
Right. Yeah. And I
So,
mean, yeah, exactly. Even like again with the mermaid thing, granted, there was specialized fabric, and um, that might happen again in the future where we're asking you required to use specialized fabric for some of the projects, the sewing projects. But it's not something it's impossible to buy. All
right.
right. We're not using something like super unique cashmere or something or other, right? It's stuff that you can typically get off of Amazon, for example, these days. And I would probably, if it is, I'd probably put some in the goodie bag. But it's again, everything is listed on the supplies list. So if you don't want to buy the goodie bag and you're like, well, I have a lot of fabric, I know I have fabric, I don't need to, then
Hmm.
you know, that's,
That's
yeah,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. So what were some other questions on the survey
Let's
after that?
see. Are there any crafting techniques you'd like to see in future retreats or future retreat workshops? So this question was has always been asked on our questionnaire. And that's how we came up with crocheting this year.
Yes, it
A
is.
lot of people kept saying, "Oh, I want to learn to crochet," or "I'd like to do crochet." I'll tell you what I don't want: knitting.
Uh, that's probably not going to happen because I'm not good
I
at.
am all thumbs
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
yeah, right.
But
I mean, I would say not in the near future. There's some things I could think of to do knitting wise that would be pretty easy, but yeah, the knitting, yeah. You're interesting. We have not had anybody ask for knitting.
now we did a knitted hat with those
That's
what do you
true.
call them? Those
Yeah, for
looms,
the
those
grunge,
circular
when we did
looms.
the grunge,
Hmm.
we did a virtual, what were we calling it? Virtual Blythe Retreat taster. It was a
Taster,
freebie
yeah.
we did, and we ran it through our YouTube channels, and our Blythe Buddies Facebook group. And I did have you guys make, that was a project I did, right? It was a knit loom hat. Let's put my leg up
Hmm.
there. It was a knit loom hat, and that actually did pretty well. The looms are really easy, super
Oh
easy.
yeah, they are. Those are easy.
Um,
But
but
I don't. I'm trying to remember. Have we
Well,
had any?
I'm looking at some now. A lot of them are not so much, they're not really saying they want certain types. It was more like, um, again, they're photography again. Making eye chips.
Oh
That
yeah.
might
Oh,
be
there was
something.
one.
Making eye chips
eh,
might be something a guest artist could help us with. Again, I'll put that out in
mhm.
the universe there.
Well, making eye chips and then also painting their eyelids,
Yes. Yeah.
which
And then yeah, because there's you can make all kinds of different designs and stuff like that on the eyelids. But we still are getting a lot of people asking for things like dioramas and props, and that is something we are working on something like related to that for 2026. We can
we're
say that.
thinking about it.
Yeah, we have it an idea.
On the radar.
It is on the radar. It is if again if the prototype thing I'm working on now, I have two things I have to try to make and create patterns for it. And if those work, then I can see
Yeah,
the
we have plan
definitely a
A
diorama.
and plan B.
Yes.
So
We have A
I'm
and
shooting
B,
for
right?
plan A.
Yeah. Yeah. A, please. B is going to be good too.
Oh, B is going to
B
be
is
good,
going to
and we'll
happen. That might
eventually.
be 2027.
Yeah, we're eventually
Yeah.
going to do that one, but
Definitely doing that. But plan A is going to be killer. So, and we don't tell people what the theme is. We're not like BlytheCon that can tell it up ahead of time because it takes so long for us to get our act together. Honestly, that's the main reason.
well, a lot of it too is like, for instance, say we needed a special like the tennis shoes this year. So that actually almost was a problem
Yes.
because you cannot order 50 pairs of tennis shoes from one place.
Nope.
You had to order them from this place and this place and this, and it was only like five here, 10 here. And so it's like, are we going to be able to get all of our supplies?
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
that determines what we're doing.
Exactly. Yes, stuff
So
like that definitely does. Some places we could get like the little cell phones, no problem. I ordered 50 little cell phones, no problemo. Those shoes, pain in the butt. The t-shirts, we ordered the t-shirts,
that was
same
also a
kind of
pain.
thing. I have to order from here and there and here and there. It's like, I mean, so it takes us a while to get, there's all these little factors like that that just
Yeah.
for our purposes, it works out better if we don't tell what the theme is until about 6 weeks ahead of time.
Because it's
Um,
set in stone by then.
because yeah, it is. Yes, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. But until then, we need the flexibility for ourselves because it's just, we're the CEO, dishwashers,
We're
you know,
it.
we're it. So so yeah, I would say yes to more props, miniatures, dioramas, that kind of thing. Um, so and then what was another question?
Oh, the thoughts on the prizes and the grand
Yeah, we
prize.
didn't really get crafting techniques, by the way. So nobody
Oh,
really gave us crafting techniques. It was more like things they like to make. So, just putting that there.
mhm.
And then yeah, then the prizes. Then there was yeah, a question about the prizes. What did they think about the prizes? Yeah. We had great in fact, I think we ended up with like 2 dozen prizes plus the grand prize, Fighting Milk. Betsy Carney, congratulations, she won that prize. She was, and this was, I just loved it because when her name poll came up, I just started laughing because it was the first year she'd been with us, even though I've known her for years. She and I have actually, I've bought dolls from her, she's bought dolls from me. We've known each other in these groups on Facebook, we've known each other on Instagram for a couple of years. Like I feel like I kind of know her pretty well, and she's never come to retreat, and I never, like I always invite everybody, but people have their lives, and I get it that they just if you don't want to do it, it's not a big deal. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But she came, and then she had so much fun, and I kind of got the feeling like she was like, "Wow, this is way more fun than I thought." And then she wins the grand prize. I was just like, "Wow!" I mean, that was too funny. So you like the prizes. And we had some great, I mean, the people who donated the prizes,
Oh,
if you didn't see them, you can go back on my 2025 virtual Blythe retreat playlist and see the prizes. So
we
um,
have some very talented artists. They are definitely artists that donated prizes.
right. And then some people were just like, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Connie Beecher? She was like, you know what? $25 gift certificate to
I
Etsy.
know.
Like,
I know.
what the heck? Thank you. I mean, I mean, there's just people who just are really supporting us, and so the prizes. I mean, lots of people won prizes, and we had a good ratio because I think we ended up with like 65 people in the group.
Mhm.
I mean, we sold more tickets, more passes than that, but
There
at
were
the end,
65 participants, we'll put
with
it that way.
participants, yeah. And so it was, a pretty good ratio. A lot of people won prizes. So, and then, I lost the thing. What was the other question?
Okay, let's see. What are your thoughts in a future in-person doll retreat? So the reason we actually don't do it in person is there's a lot of reasons. For one thing, we can keep the costs down. If we were to do an in-person retreat, we actually checked on that. It would be very expensive. So that's a no. Uh, Although we do have some ideas. I'm not going to say anything right now because it may or may not be. I have to do some investigating on that. But there's
Yes.
another idea I have that may not be that expensive. But anyway, another reason for virtual is that we can meet people from all over the world.
Hmm.
It's like we got people from the other side of the world. Most of us are here in the US, but
Yes.
we've got, Australia. I'm trying to get, there's the UK, there's Africa,
Scotland,
South Africa, right?
South Africa. Eddie.
Did I miss anybody? I'm trying to think. There's people from all
And
over.
then, I mean, even in the Canada, and then even in the US, I
Canada,
mean, we run it in Eastern Standard Time because I'm on the East Coast. It's easier for me.
right,
But we have people, we have multiple time zones, in the US.
right.
So yeah, so we always keep asking. I think we've been asking that question every year because it's something Terry and I still kind of dream about, and we have some ideas about possibly doing something. But doing anything, I mean, it would be, like there's no way we could do something on the scale of BlytheCon or something like that. That
Oh
is
no.
big buckaroonies. We don't have it. Um, I'd have to be. I'd have to like if I could win the lottery, like big time win it. I mean, it had to be
It
big
had to
time
be big
lottery.
time, yeah.
I tell you, I'll put that out there. If I win 20 million bucks, because I got to take care of me and I got to take care of my family first, you will see a killer in person Blythe event from us. Need 20 mil. Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I know, but if you got to put it
Hey,
out
but
there,
you never know,
yeah,
it
got to
could.
put it out, putting it out there in the universe. And then finally, 10, do you have any additional comments about the retreat experience? So it's just like
Yeah.
generally. Um,
But
and
we do appreciate the feedback and we look forward to more feedback.
yes,
So,
yeah, if you didn't take the survey, it's over there on the group. Or if you missed it or something and if you can't find it, just, message us. We can tag you so you can get contact, you can, get in there and post it there. Or you can email me at tammypally@yahoo.com and answer those questions or just tell us in general, what you'd like to see, or if there was anything that you just didn't jive with you. We're still, you don't have to be mean about it, but if there was anything that you really didn't like, yeah, we want to know that too. I mean, I think, it seems like everybody really enjoyed it, and it was a big success again. I feel like it was, you know,
Right. And we are very, very grateful for all of you, for all the support that all of you have given us.
mhm.
You know, Tammy's the one that sent me down the Blythe doll rabbit hole. And I remember when she gave me my first, it was a AliExpress doll, but when she first gave that doll to me, I was like, okay, whatever. But I have fallen in love with these girls. They are a lot of fun. In fact, I have one coming. Hopefully it's coming today. That's why I keep looking out the window.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's
That's the
raining.
mailman.
I have a feeling it's not going to come till tomorrow or Monday. But anyway,
Yeah, of course.
I am grateful for the community. Great, great doll community.
Hmm.
And I think everybody will agree with me on that.
Definitely, definitely.
So,
But yeah, we have, like I said, so next year, we're already plotting and planning. We do hope to have more guest artists, and we're putting it out there. And I will, I'm just going to say, we're open to it. But if, even though there's, other than a big old thank you and some accolades, there's not a lot in it for you. And I'm a stern taskmaster. I'm like, this is the deadline, that kind of thing. And I will also work with you, like if you need some feedback, or Terry as well, both of us, if you're like, well, I want to do this, but I'm not really sure about that or whatever, like we can brainstorm with you. But I know there's a lot of talent out there, possibly untapped, that we would like to take advantage of. So, and I think it added a lot. We will be adding, no matter what our theme is, we will also add more other related content, informative content, I would say, similar to the interview we had with Casey. I thought that was a really cool way to kind of, kick it off and, connect to the theme. So we'll be doing that. What else? Uh, definitely guest artists. I mean, I think the number we had was pretty good, because I mean, we had 10 different workshop videos. So 10 seems, that's 5 a day. That's kind of a lot. So,
that's a lot. Yeah.
there's a lot going on. So I don't want to overwhelm people to, like,
No, no.
so probably we're going to still stay around that amount,
Hmm.
I feel like. And yeah, not as many goodie bags, but we will try to, really think through the supplies, which we do anyway.
Hmm.
But it's a little bit is on you guys. If you come, you got to download that supplies list. We tell everybody about the supplies list. We try to get out there as soon as we can. And, typically at least 6 weeks ahead of time, you got to get on it. Really, it makes it a lot easier for you if you have your supplies. If you wait till the weekend, then, it can make it more difficult to do the projects. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
so that's kind of some stuff, some work that's put on the participants, that, if we supplied all the supplies, I think, and a few people mentioned that they were like, obviously we'd like to have more supplies, but then at the same time, it could cost more money. And so,
We're trying to keep the costs down.
yeah,
So,
definitely. So,
and the thing of it is, it's like with the wire, guarantee you buy you some wire, you will use it on other projects.
oh,
Uh,
definitely.
and if you're looking for projects, you can go over to my Tapping Flamingo channel.
Exactly. I
I have
mean,
all kinds of wire
yeah,
projects.
she
And
uses
even though
wire.
it's
Yeah.
jewelry, you can scale it down for your dolls.
Oh
So,
yeah, earrings, pull charms. She has all kinds of really good, yeah, videos over there. And the making the bracelets, like they have her little bracelet.
hey, you could do that, but just make it longer for a choker.
That's true, right? And you can use it for other dolls too. Like if you have some
Mhm.
18-inch dolls, you could do the same thing. Just make the thing longer, wrap it
Mhm.
around. Yeah, there's
Yep.
a lot. So yeah, you kind of use your imagination a little bit. But that's kind of, is that all we want to share with everybody
I
today? That's
think
a lot.
so. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. It's kind of a long video, but
But yeah, we wanted to share with you guys, just kind of our thoughts on the last retreat, the future retreat, what we're working on, as far as, 2026. Oh, and I will say, even though Actually, I have put in my intent to retire letter into the college. So next summer I will be unemployed.
No, you're going to be
Oh,
retired.
that's right, retired. Okay. So
I'm
so
excited. I am so
I
excited for her.
I cannot wait. Whew. So yeah, I have this summer. I'm teaching this summer and then fall. And so next summer I won't be the time isn't, I've been doing it in June because that's when I'm off from school. So that is not on us anymore, but I feel like June is still a good time to do it, don't you, Terry?
Definitely. I'm
Yeah.
still looking for that doll. Time a car goes by. Yes, June is actually really good because
Yeah.
it's the very beginning of the summer. And, I think a lot of us, some of us may be on vacation, but for the most part, I think it's a lower stress time
Yes. Yeah.
because it's
So
after
I
the,
kind
the
of feel
kids.
like what was it, the third weekend in June? I think that's kind of we're gonna just kind of claim that as our,
Right. Yeah.
you know. Um, I know there's other events out there, so we're letting you guys know.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless we can come up with a in person, that's still in the works.
Right. And that if we did something in person, that probably would not be during the hot heat of the summer, that's for sure. But we would still, and it would not, if we ever did anything in person, it would not replace the virtual.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
It would be in addition to. It's just,
Right.
I will be retiring, so I won't have, the the restrictions that I have now. And maybe we want to do more. I don't know. That's something we're kind of, I'm kind of thinking over how much of this I want to do. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Is that a
This whole thing about
crossroads?
retiring means you don't work
Which
anymore.
road to go down now
Right.
that you're at this
Right.
crossroad?
There's many roads and I have to make decisions. But then I also have like we have other things in our lives that we have to kind of take care of too. Um, beside, once you get a certain age, there's other things you have to do. So anyway, that's all to say, I don't know. That's all to say, I don't know. All right, so I guess we should wrap it up now, Terry. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'd love to hear your comments in down below in the comments section. Give us all the feedback you want. If you weren't there, what would entice you to come? Let's put it
Yeah.
that way for 2026. Let us know what would entice you to come and join us in a virtual Blythe retreat in June 2026. If you did come, just tell us your thoughts down below. And if you don't have anything to say, just give us like a heart emoji or a dancing lady or, something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
I do the flamingo.
Oh yeah, that's a cute one. That. All right, guys, have a nice Dolly day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.